Welcome to Imagine AI Live 25. I've got with us a very special guest, Eric Vaughan, CEO of IgniteTech. And Eric, you just got off the stage here. How are you feeling?
I tell you, the adrenaline is still just pumping, Chris. It's this is such a wonderful conference, second year in a row.
Yes.
Steve said in his opening remarks, it feels like 14 years ago because of all the pace of change, but it was really only 14 months ago, and my gosh, how far we've come.
Yeah, so fill us in. What did you talk about today?
Well, the center subject of my talk was humans and AI. We are becoming, as a company and an organization, increasingly more focused on trying to help humans navigate this important trend. Because number one, it's not going away. It's going to very much be a part of their lives. We're trying to enable them to feel like they're in control of the AI, because what humans do when we don't know something, we instinctively don't trust it, and when we don't trust it, we stand back. And I think that's a bad thing to stand back right now. So we're trying to make people embrace it. So I talked a lot about our company, the way we've transformed IgniteTech over the last now almost 2 years into very much an AI-focused workforce, but very much how important it is to bring humans in the loop.
Right, and so AI personas, what is that? And tell us about what you shared on stage.
Well, last year, in March of 2024, I stood on this stage and I announced for the very first time a product that we called, at the time we called it Jive Personas, because we thought we were going to put this in our product called Jive. And it was the first of its kind. It wasn't an AI avatar. We said at the time, these are clones. These are clones of people you know. It's like your HR manager or your chief legal counselor. It could be an insurance agent. I mean, it could be Steve Metcalf at Imagine AI.
Yeah.
And it's an AI rendering of the person who has knowledge that would be appropriate for that role and that person. So you can interact with that person with voice by just talking to it or by typing it. And here's the best thing, 24/7 and in 160 languages, right? Because LLMs speak multiple languages, so AI speaks multiple languages. So now Steve suddenly speaks, multiple languages. And that's what we announced last year, and it was amazing. The crowd kind of went nuts. The fun thing was today, I played a little clip of me doing that last year, and then I let everybody in on a secret. We hadn't written any code yet. What we had was a really compelling demo to make it look very real. And we did that intentionally because we wanted to get feedback from people, right? We call this sell, design, build. So sell your concept first, not money, but sell the concept, and then get the feedback. That might influence your design, and then you build it, and that's what we did.
And what is the product today? And I see AI Steve over here, and you can go and talk to him.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so what is the offering that companies can sign up for?
Well, yeah, now we have, we've got Steve up on flat panels here around the conference, so people can go up and talk to him and ask him questions. But again, it's all about human in the loop. So the way our software all works, we have multiple products in the AI space, but we're talking about MyPersonas today, is we bring humans in if the AI can't do something. So rather than hallucinate or improvise on its own, it realizes, I don't know the answer to that question. So like one of the questions I asked it today when I was demoing was, do you know if French wines will be served tonight at the reception? I knew it didn't know that. And so what it did is it went out and asked Steve the question, sent him an email, notified him on the mobile app that comes with our MyPersonas software, and then he can answer that. And the really cool thing about this human in the loop concept is when the human answers any of those questions, it updates the data in the AI's mind. So the next time somebody asks that same question, it already knows.
Asks about
so it
the
gets
wine,
smarter and smarter, and the human is incented to answer that question because they answer it once, they don't have to keep answering it. And just look at events like Imagine AI.
Yeah.
The same questions over and over and over and over again. It's just the nature of events. I know that, right? But we did something even more special today.
And tell us about that.
Okay. Last week we filed a patent. I told my attorneys there's not a chance I'm demoing this at Imagine AI, but I really want to demo it at Imagine AI, but we have to get the patent filed. We took human in the loop to a different level. Now, when I asked the question about the French wine, it sent it out to Steve, and Steve was actually out here in the hall where we're sitting right now, just outside the main room. And he had a new link in the email that said, well, would you like to just join the conversation? And he clicked yes, and MyPersonas then asks the user, me in this case, my owner, Steve Metcalf's actually available. Would you accept him joining the chat? And I clicked yes, and suddenly we had picture in a picture. We had live Steve in the same window with AI Steve, and I could just talk back and forth. Now, the use cases there are you just run wild thinking of all the use cases. But maybe, Steve got a question from a very important person that he was trying to nail down as a speaker, and he saw that question came in, so let me grab him right now. And it worked flawlessly for a product that's very much in development.
Yeah.
We were thrilled.
So what's a use case like a sales team would use this product?
Sure. I mean, imagine having your chief revenue officer. In fact, if you go to our IgniteTech website, IgniteTech.ai, our MyPersona is our chief commercial officer, Suchi Ramesh. And Suchi appears, and she could ask a question, could be asked a question, the question could come to her, she could recognize who that user is because they put their email in if they so choose. It's like, that's one of our top customers. I'd like to answer that question now, not chase back and forth for a meeting. Mm-hmm. So she could accept and come and say, hey, Chris, I hear you've got some questions, let's have this discussion. So this is all about eliminating the routine and the mundane. This is what AI should do for humans, and bubble up to the humans those things that are important and let them choose, put them in control of choosing.
Yeah, those important interactions, and you want to have that human-to-human interface for that, for when it matters.
For when it matters, yeah, that's a good way to put it, yeah.
And tell us about the email the email product that you're working on.
Yeah, that's right. So we since we were here 14 months ago, we have created from the ground up 2 brand new products. I mentioned MyPersonas, we just talked about that. The second one's called Eloquens, Eloquens AI. And it is an email persona. And that's the right way to put it because they have names, and in some cases our team has even created social profiles for them so they look even more real. And it is an email responder that responds to any inbound email, could be info at, sales at, help at, support at, these kind of generic emails that all businesses and organizations have. Or it could be from a lead generation campaign, somebody's responding to it. But it creates a bespoke response that's thoughtful based on the input. When I say thoughtful, it'll notice the title of somebody and shape the response to be appropriate to them because I see you're in marketing, Chris, and so you'd really be interested in this facet of it. And again, in multiple languages, and always perfect grammar, and very empathetic type of response. I'll share, just last week, IgniteTech closed on a new acquisition. We acquired a company called Chorus, K-H-O-R-O-S. Super excited about Chorus. They're very much in the communities and brand care business, so they're helping customers with external communities, forums, what people regard old time as forums, but now more modern communities where people answer questions, post questions and answer questions. We, in getting ready for this acquisition, we actually stood up an Eloquens ID for our HR team. Her name is Helene Roberts, actually. Very clever of our team to HR, Helene Roberts, right?
Yeah.
That's the persona. And we directed all the employees after the announcement of the acquisition to write Helene. And so they're writing Helene and asking all kinds of questions. What happens to our 401k? What's the transition period look like? Is payroll going to run normally? All the things that employees are always concerned about. And what that's done, we have a human team behind, of course, but it's answering a lot of the questions because they're repeated questions over and over again. And they're answering them in full sentences, people aren't too busy to compose a thoughtful email. And it recognizes if I can't answer that question, and it will CC the human in the loop and say, I've CC'd Jamie. Jamie can help you on this further, or I've CC'd the 401k plan manager directly, right? So again, handling hundreds, literally, of emails that are coming in, giving good responses to people, and learning through the process. That's Eloquens AI.
So you've got a lot of exciting products here that you've announced and you're growing. What do you tell your team that's the mission that you're working on at IgniteTech?
Yeah, I think the answer to that is exactly what I've been saying. The mission is to bring AI to humans, to remember the humans as we talk about AI. And we don't want to get lost down the AI. We don't want to fall in love with AI technology. We want to constantly look at what works for people and what empowers people. We're an enterprise software company, and I make that contrast compared to, for example, AI startups, which are having a ball right now inventing things, but very rough around the edges when they first put them out there, and you can tell because they're not in the enterprise software business. They don't have hundreds of customers around the world that are multinational companies that depend on you, right? So we're using AI in a way to empower humans, and that's always our core message. It's our message even here at our booth on the AI arena. Floor.
Yeah, so tell us about the booth there, because it's the biggest one in the AI arena, and you can come and clone yourself directly at our conference here.
Yeah, I tell you, it's funny you say that. There's something that I didn't see coming, and again, it's all about humans. I didn't see the vanity thing coming with MyPersonas. I can't tell you how many times people are like, I don't like the way I look on there. I don't like the way I recorded, and they're hesitant to put it up until they redo it. I didn't anticipate that was going to be a thing. So we put a bunch of R&D and software development into making the creation of the persona better. You're coached better, how to stand, where to keep your face, to close your lips at times, because that's what the AI has to do that. And you're right, at the booth, we have a come make your own MyPersona, a little booth where you can go in, and a little small little recording studio for that, and then it takes a couple of hours for the AI to create that, and they come back later, they've got their own MyPersona.
Wow. Yeah, and it's true that people probably want the best version of themselves. If they're going to clone themselves, they want the best looking version of themselves. But when you're at a conference, I think you come with the best looking version of yourself. So.
Well, that's probably true.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Is there anything else you'd like to share with us here for our viewers?
Well, for those people who aren't familiar with Imagine AI, they're missing out. I've had the great privilege over the last couple of years to travel around the world proselytizing about this AI transformation, how important it is. So I've got a lot of samples, and this is such a unique conference. It's beautifully run, so highly professional, but the cross-section of people are fascinating, because we literally have technologists here, but we've got business owners here, both small and large, who are now trying to explore the AI world a little bit more. So it's just a real honor and privilege to be here.
No, we're so happy you came the first time, and that you're one of our biggest fans here, and we're a huge fan of yours and your company. So Eric Vaughan, thank you so much for sitting down with me again, and look forward to the next time.
Thanks very much, Chris. Appreciate it very much.
That's one small step for man.